Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a long-awaited episode of Bracketology. The last update I released was December 15th. So, what I think we should do first, before we get into the bracket, let's take a look at all the notable games that have happened since December 15th. Now there were a lot of stretches of days where there just weren't any games because it was over Christmas break and stuff. But let's look. Okay, Wisconsin beat Lehigh. Good for them. There were no ranked teams playing. Xavier on the 16th. Xavier beat the hell out of Georgetown. Marquette continues to rise. Good for them. They're up in the bracket. I'll show you that. Okay. This game was about as bad as a game could be. Indiana and Kansas. I was really excited for this matchup. I go to IU if y'all didn't know. Kansas completely blew them out, and this game really wasn't even close. Just an absolute massacre of a game. And IU starting point guard Xavier Johnson broke his foot in this game, so a lot of question marks surrounding IU right about now. But yeah, this is a pretty embarrassing loss. Purdue continues to barely squeak by subpar teams. They get a resounding 8-point win over Davidson. This Houston-Virginia game, this is a good game. This is a really good game. This is at Virginia, two really strong teams, and Houston comes away with a win. I was definitely really impressed with Houston in that game. UConn continuing to roll. Gonzaga and Alabama. A lot of offense in this game, man. I watched this game, and basically no one could miss a shot. Gonzaga and Alabama both firing on all cylinders. But ultimately, the Zags coming away with a win. Tennessee and Arizona. This is a fantastic game. At Arizona, back and forth. I mean, two terrific teams playing. And Arizona came away with a win at home. I don't even think I would knock either one of these teams for that game. Both these teams looked absolutely tremendous. And these are two very strong teams that I'm very high on. Arkansas continues to win. UCLA, big win over Kentucky in the CBS Sports Classic. UCLA definitely rebounding really well from their two early losses. They've picked up some really good wins, some big point margin wins too. Mississippi State stayed undefeated against Nichols, barely, 68-66. Illinois won. North Carolina, this is a game that I thought they really needed. I thought North Carolina really needed this game. They had been falling. They were 7-4 at the time of this game. And it looked like they were going to fall to Ohio State, but they came back and tied the game in the final seconds and then won it in overtime. I thought was a good rebounding win for North Carolina there. Virginia Tech won and Miami won. We'll get to Miami a little bit later because I feel like a lot of y'all are going to disagree with me about I feel like a lot of y'all are going to disagree about where I have Miami, but we'll get to that later. Texas continuing to play well despite the Chris Beard drama. That's still very much a big deal, but you know what? Good for them. Baylor, kind of a struggle win over Washington State. I have some concerns with Baylor. I'm not really sure how I should feel about them. USC taking down Auburn in a big upset at home. That was a little surprising. TCU continuing to roll. Sorry about that. Dr. Pepper ad. I hate it when ads just randomly play. It's so annoying. And then there were no ranked games on this day. Tuesday the 10th. Indiana rebounded well against Elon. UConn picked up another win. Arizona won again. Miami and Virginia. This was a fantastic game. Two teams with very much contrasting styles. Virginia is very much just a defensive team. They're going to try to choke you defensively and win the game like 55-45. They're not going to score very many points, whereas Miami, on the other hand, they're very much a run and gun team and will score their points, but they kind of are not as great defensively. And Miami took this one 66-64. Great game. I am very high on Miami. The thing about Miami is they're a very volatile team. When they play really, really well, when they play their best, there are very few teams that can even compete with them. But when they don't really, when they kind of have a slow shooting night, they can get beat. But they're 12-1, and they've been beating some really good teams on the way to that 12-1. Alabama beat Jackson State. Gonzaga, maybe a struggle game against Montana. It happens. Baylor, 58-48 over Northwestern State. Once again, Baylor not looking too great. Duke and Wake Forest. Oh my God, Wake Forest completely taking it to Duke, 81-70. Yeah, Duke did not look good in this game, not at all. Especially on the defensive side of the ball, you would have liked to see them play better. But it's whatever. A lot of freshmen for Duke. I'm telling you, I'm not really high on Duke. Mississippi State. The run finally came to an end. They were winning. They were 11-0, and they were beating a lot of pretty bad teams by like 2 and 3 points. You had a feeling it was going to come to an end eventually, and it did at the hands to Drake at a neutral site game in Lincoln, Nebraska. And yeah, Drake, real good team, 9-3, beat Mississippi State. They're definitely looking good. And Providence out here winning a terrific overtime game against Marquette, 103-98. A lot of points in that game. Marquette's a team, they will score a lot of points. They dropped like 96 on the aforementioned Baylor. But yeah, two high-powered offensive teams in that one. Wednesday the 21st, Purdue once again beating a nobody. Houston beat a nobody. Texas beat a nobody. Actually, I had Louisiana in the tournament. So I guess I'll put that on the good win for Texas. Tennessee beat a nobody. Arkansas beat a nobody. UCLA beat a nobody. Kentucky beat a nobody. TCU and Utah, two good teams. Utah, of course, they upset Arizona earlier in the year. They've been looking pretty good. But TCU went out and beat them on the road. That's a good win for TCU. Virginia Tech falling to Boston College in overtime. That's an upset. That wasn't really happening. Auburn and Washington. Yeah, Auburn taking care of business. That was a good road win for them. Going up to Seattle and beating Washington pretty solidly on the road. Good win for Auburn. And my Lord, what do we have here? I don't know how many of y'all watched the game in question, which is Arizona State and San Francisco. San Francisco, at one point, started the game near the end of the first half, with like 2 minutes left in the half. They were up 41-11. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. 41-11. Massacre. Shabazz had himself a day, 26 points. San Francisco's a team where if they can get their act together down the stretch, they could make the tournament. But they kind of have some lackluster losses right about now, and they're going to need to get a little bit better. But if they can get their act together down the stretch, they're a team that could definitely pull off an upset. December 22nd, Kansas took down Harvard by 12. Arizona beat Morgan State. And my, oh my, what do we have here? Missouri has become a rising force in college basketball. They picked up two really good wins in this past stretch. This is one of them. Completely demolishing a good Illinois team. They're up 51-27 at half. I mean, never a question for this game. Missouri completely taking it to Illinois. So, great win for Missouri. That put them on the edge of maybe they can make, that put them on the, kind of put them on the radar for everyone. Indiana, struggle win over Kennesaw State. Another one by 14, but they struggled in this game. I watched this game. It was not a pretty game, but they still won. Tamar Bates is starting to play a lot better. Hopefully he can perform in the absence of Xavier Johnson. Hopefully Xavier Johnson can come back. Christmas Eve, no games. Christmas Day, there were games on Christmas Day, apparently. Yeah, Creighton won. Creighton at 8-6, kind of holding on to a tournament spot right about now. No games on the 26th. One game on the 27th, Texas being Texas A&M Commerce. Wednesday, UConn. People are calling this a struggle win. I mean, an 8-point win over Villanova. I don't know. People are kind of hating on UConn for that game. I don't know. Houston continuing to roll. Tennessee tough road game against Ole Miss, but they did come out with the win. Alabama beating Mississippi State. Once again, Mississippi State dropping now a second game in a row. This game I thought was cause for concern. Arkansas is full of a lot of young guys on their team. They only had one loss, and it was to Creighton. But, of course, Creighton not looking too good right about now. And they hadn't really played a decent team until this game. And they dropped it. They lost to LSU. I think that's cause for concern for Arkansas. I'm still going to have them ranked pretty highly. But I would be a little concerned if I was an Arkansas fan. Gonzaga, my goodness, 120 to 42 over Eastern Oregon. This is why you're never going to win a national title, Gonzaga. You got to play better. I know you play good teams at the start of the year. You play Kentucky, you play Michigan State, you play Texas. You're playing good teams. But, like, Eastern Oregon, I mean, come on. Cupcakes. Think Eastern Oregon's a cupcake. Albany lost to Virginia. Baylor beating Nichols. TCU beat Central Arkansas. And this is the second good win for Missouri. They went out and they did it again against Kentucky. Once again, a game that really was never in doubt. Up 12 at half. Missouri is looking. They're 12-1, and they have some good wins, man. Their only loss is a beating at home to Kansas, but yeah, good job, Missouri. You'll see where I have them ranked here in a minute. Auburn taking down Florida. Xavier taking down St. John's on the road. St. John's, decent team. Xavier took them down on the road. And New Mexico, now ranked and still undefeated. Still undefeated, New Mexico. Purdue, once again, beating nobodies and thinking they're the best team in the country. UCLA, struggle win, but they did get the win. I'm going to have a lot more sympathy for teams. If you struggle against a conference opponent on the road, but you manage to get the win, I'll let it slide. Like, a road game, fine, whatever. You won. Miami, good win over Notre Dame on the road. A road game beat them pretty badly. Wisconsin beat Western Michigan. And then, UNC dropping a game to Pitt. I really don't know what to think about UNC, man. I know when they play their best, there are very few teams that can beat them. But they've not been playing their best, man. The problem with North Carolina, and I noticed this when they played IU, is everyone's trying to be the hero. Everyone's very much trying to be the hero. And they need to play more as a team. New Year's Eve, a day most people were focused on college football, but there was some good college basketball. In the morning, Xavier taking down UConn. UConn, I really thought was the best team in the country. I had them ranked number 1, but they take a big, they towed an L on the road to Xavier. As an IU fan, I loved this because it made IU's win at Xavier look a little bit better. But you know what? Good win for Xavier. They're definitely climbing up the ranks. UConn, tough loss, but they're still ranked really highly. I mean, it's a tough road loss. I don't know what you're going to do. Houston, close win over UCF, but they did win. Kansas, this definitely was a struggle win against Oklahoma State, but, they did get it done. Arizona winning a road rivalry game against Arizona State, 69-60. So that was a good win. Another road rivalry game here for Texas. They took down Oklahoma by 1 in what was a terrific game. I think they should be happy with that. Gonzaga beating Pepperdine for their first conference win. And here we get back to Baylor. Baylor been playing some subpar ball, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Some subpar ball being played by Baylor. They towed an L on the road to Iowa State. Iowa State, again, I have no idea whether they're the best team in the country or shouldn't make the tournament. That's what it is every year with Iowa State, I feel. But you know what? Baylor's fallen, man, but good win for Iowa State. Virginia beating Georgia Tech. Duke beat Florida State. TCU beat Texas Tech. Kentucky over Louisville. New Mexico, they hold on to the undefeated season for now. 1-point win over Wyoming. I don't know whether or not Wyoming, at the preseason, they were supposed to be really, really good. But one of their players were hurt, and then they lost a bunch of games earlier in the year. They're 5-9, but, I mean, they had a lot of fight against New Mexico, but couldn't pull out the win. And then Kansas State, they're 12-1. They take down West Virginia. They're starting to play a lot better. They're rising up A lot of boards. New Year's Day, only game that really was of note was UCLA Washington, and well, UCLA made Washington not want to play basketball anymore. These are the games today for anyone that cares. Now, what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to make a poll now. I'm making a poll before every bracketology. It helps you get a good outline for where you're going to put teams, like your top 4, your 1 seeds, your next 4, your 2 seeds. Here's my poll. I think Kansas has looked like the best team. From when I've seen them play, they look like the best team, and Arizona's not too far behind them. I think when these two teams are on the mark, I think they're the 2 best teams in the country, Kansas and Arizona. These 2 teams have looked great. Purdue, they're one of only 2 undefeated teams, them in New Mexico. I don't know, man. I've not been very impressed with Purdue. I know they have some good wins. They have wins over Gonzaga and Duke, but I don't know. They just, if you see them play, they don't look that great to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but you know, they have the good wins earlier in the year. They're undefeated. They're obviously a 1 seed. I just don't think they should be ranked number 1 in the country. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. UConn, I'm going to keep them at a 1 seed. I'm going to keep them at 4. I definitely still think they're 1 seed. They're 1 seed caliber. I'm not going to fault them too hard for that loss. I have Miami at 5. I think this is where I might start to lose some people. I think this might be a little high for Miami for some people. Yeah, the AP poll has them at 12. I think they've been playing a lot better than the teams in front of them. I think they've been playing better than Virginia. Well, they beat Virginia, so yeah, they're playing better than Virginia. I think they're playing about UCLA. I think they're better. They've been playing better than Gonzaga. I think they've been playing better than Tennessee, Bama. I mean, it's tough, but that's where I have Miami. Tennessee, oh my God. Caught my throat a little bit. Tennessee, I have at 6. Definitely strong team. 11-2. Only 2 losses are well, they lost the game to Colorado earlier in the year. That was embarrassing. But since that game, all business. They have a dominating win over Kansas. And their only loss is to Arizona. Houston, I have at 7. I was really high on Houston to start the year. I had them as my preseason number 1. But I don't know. I think the teams I have ahead of them, I think they've looked better. The AP has Houston at 2. I think that's crazy. I think Houston at 2 is crazy. I'm sorry. They have the good win on the road at Virginia, but like they have the loss to Alabama, and they've had some struggle wins. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, they have a 4-point win over Kent State. I don't know. I've just not been that impressed with Houston, but I still think they're a great team. I have them at 7. I got Texas at 8. Yeah, still looking good. UCLA 9. Gonzaga 10. Alabama 11. Missouri at 12. That might be a little high for some people. Currently, Missouri is... Oh my God, they're not even ranked. Oh, they're ranked 20. 12-1 with a dominating win over Illinois and a dominating win over Kentucky. Not a lot of teams have that. I think they've been looking just as well as any other team in the country, especially this past week. They're hot. 12. Virginia at 13. New Mexico at 14. Maybe a little high. The AP has them at 21, but I have them there. TCU 15. They've been looking great. 12-1. Arkansas 16. I dropped them quite a bit. AP has them at 13. I have them at 16. IU 17. AP has them 15. Xavier 18. I had to keep IU ahead of Xavier because, well, they beat Xavier. Baylor at 19. They're the big faller for me. Three losses, and they've not been looking great. Auburn 20. Charleston 21. Charleston is now ranked. They're 14-1. Only lost to UNC. Iowa State 22. Wisconsin 23. Kansas State 24. I'm surprised they're not ranked at 12-1. That was surprising. And then Duke at 25. I kept them in. Those are my rankings. Now to the bracket. Sorry, 19 minutes of pre-work. I maybe could have cut that down, but I'm sorry. Let's get to the bracket. Let's make some picks. You'll see where each team is seeded accordingly. And, last 4 in, Iowa and Arizona State. Iowa with the most embarrassing loss. Lost to Eastern Illinois. Not good. Not good. And, of course, Arizona State had the embarrassing loss to San Francisco. And then Oklahoma, UNLV are my other last ones. And I also updated the small conferences. We'll talk about them. Kansas, I still have as my number 1 overall seed, and I'm still going to take them to win. Virginia Tech and Marquette. I'm going to take Marquette. Marquette, when they're on, they're on. They beat Baylor by 30. And they've been beating some good teams. So when they play, oh my God, Purdue's losing 35-0 at the half to LSU. Holy cow. Okay, sue me if you must, but the way Baylor's been playing recently, I'm going to take UAB. I think UAB would beat them. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, UAB, real strong team. UMass Lowell, this is another team that's been rising the ranks and playing very well. And Virginia, you know how they get upset in the tournament. Virginia either goes real far or gets upset. I'm going to take an upset here. UMass, watch out for UMass Lowell. They've been playing really well in the, I forgot what conference they're in. But I went through every conference and took the team that was playing the best. Iowa State, I think, would beat this play-in. UCLA, Southern Miss, I am going to take UCLA. Southern Miss also been playing some good ball. Mississippi State, I don't know what to think of them. I mean, they're undefeated by basically by beating nobodies. And they lost 2 games. They played some good teams. I think Utah is better. I think Utah is definitely a team that will make the tournament. Good team out of the Pac-12. Give me the Utes. Tennessee, UC Santa Barbara. Definitely take a Tennessee. For sure. Arizona, Norfolk State. I'll take Arizona. Maryland. And Maryland, I had at a 5 seed last game. They kind of fell off a little bit. It's still a good team. Or Providence. I think Providence has been playing better ball recently. I'm gonna take them. Auburn in the play-in. I'm gonna take Auburn. I don't know what to think of Auburn. They're another team where it's like they're really good when they're at their best, but they're bad when they don't show up. I'm taking New Mexico. Haven't lost yet. Why would I pick them to lose now? 4 seed might be a little high for some people, but you know what? There's 2 undefeated teams left. They're one of them, so give them their respect. I'm gonna take Wisconsin over Texas Tech. Texas Tech been a little disappointing. I thought they'd be a lot better than they were. Mizzou at a 3 seed. I feel like it's maybe a little high, but hey, they're playing well. I can't knock a team who's playing as well as they are. I'm gonna take them over Cornell, who's currently winning the Ivy League. Illinois, St. Mary's. I'm gonna take Illinois. Originally, the loss to Missouri looked a lot worse than it does now, because then Missouri went out and beat Kentucky, and that's like, okay, well, maybe they're not that bad. But Illinois has been, I don't know what to think of them. I'm going to take Texas over Montana State. Let's go to the other side. I still have UConn at a 1 seed, and I will take them over Milwaukee and Bryant. Ohio State and LSU. LSU, of course, getting in the bracket now after their win over Arkansas. I'm going to take Ohio State. IU and Charleston. I have Charleston at a 12, mostly because I don't think they would put Charleston at like a 5. I think if they finish the season like 22 and like 4 or something, they would put Charleston at like a 12. So I know I have Charleston ranked, but I think 12 seed. I'm honestly going to take Charleston, and the reason is because currently IU doesn't have Xavier Johnson, and they got some issues they got to fix. I feel like if they played right now, Charleston would beat them. By the end of the year, I think IU could get their act together. But you know what? I'm taking Charleston. I don't trust IU right now. Arkansas and Furman. I'm going to take Arkansas. I feel like also I'm going to be a lot harder on IU than most people are, just because I'm an IU student. I'm going to be a little bit harder on them. Duke, San Diego State. Give me Duke. San Diego State still strong, but I'm going to take the Dukies. Alabama and Sam Houston. I'm going to take Alabama. Definitely good team. Kentucky and Drake. Ooh, this is, I don't know. See, the problem with Kentucky is, like, it's Oscar Tshiebwe and then it's nobody else. They're like North Carolina. They don't play as a team. I think I'm gonna take Kentucky just because I don't think Drake will have anyone that can stop Tshiebwe. And then Miami and Toledo. I will be going with Miami. All right, Purdue and Texas Southern and Corpus Christi. I'm going to take Purdue. UNC and Penn State. I'm going to take North Carolina. I think by the end of the year, I'm really thinking North Carolina can get their act together by the end of the year. I really think it'll happen. Xavier and Memphis. Definitely Xavier. Playing some really strong basketball right about now. This is an easy pick for me. Same thing here, TCU. These are two teams that are hot right now, Xavier and TCU. TCU not only good in football, they can ball too. Kansas State, Creighton. Gonna have to take Kansas State. 12-1, playing real well. Gonzaga, Colgate. I'm gonna take the Zags. West Virginia, Michigan State. I don't know how good West Virginia is. They're kind of like right on the edge of being ranked. But I'm not betting against Tom Izzo. Can't do it. Can't do it. And then Houston, Florida Gulf Coast. Dunk City is back, but I don't think Houston's going to let that happen. Of course, Dunk City, 15 seed back in 2013. They took down Georgetown in the first round, and then San Diego State in the second round. Then almost took down Florida in the third round. They were basically St. Peter's before St. Peter's. And Oral Roberts before. They were the original 15 seed. But yeah. Second round. I will take Kansas. We got UAB and UMass Lowell. I'll take UAB. UAB is really a small. UAB had a real good team last year, and they were a 12 seed, and I picked them to upset Houston, and they almost did. It was a real close game all throughout, but UAB couldn't quite close it out. But they again have a similar team this year. Man, this Tulane USC game is crazy. USC up 28-14. I will take UCLA over Iowa State. UCLA starting to play a lot better. They're starting to blow out teams. And I will take Tennessee over Utah. Okay. Arizona, Providence. I'm definitely gonna take Arizona. And then Auburn and New Mexico. I'm gonna take New Mexico. It's hard to bet against a team that hasn't lost, man. Hard to bet against a team that hasn't lost, especially with the way Auburn's kind of I'm gonna take Wisconsin. Yeah, I just think the tournament experience could hurt Missouri. I think Wisconsin could win the tournament experience better. Then I'm gonna take Texas over Illinois. Easy. I don't know about easy. Illinois did beat him in the regular season, but I think Texas would get him in the tournament. UConn and Ohio State. I'm going to take UConn. And sue me. Sue me if you must, but Arkansas play a little bit lackluster. I'm going to take Charleston. They're ranked for a reason. That's all I'm going to say. They're ranked for a reason. Duke and Alabama. I'm going to take Duke. I feel like Duke would get it together come tournament time. I forgot who their coach is now that Coach K ain't there no more, but I'll take Duke. And then I'm gonna take Miami. Miami's looking real strong, man. Don't bet against Miami. Okay. All right. Sue me if you must. I think UNC is all around. I think North Carolina is a better team. Now, Purdue is playing a lot better. Purdue is playing better. But the thing is Purdue is Zach Edey and no one else. UNC is a lot of great players, but just don't know how to play together. I think come tournament time, The talent on UNC would get them the win. I'm sorry, but I think UNC's still a good team. Xavier, TCU. Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna take Xavier. Fremantle I mean, they've been playing real well. I gotta take X. I'm going to take Gonzaga over Kansas State, and then I'm going to take. I'm gonna take Houston. Definitely gonna take Houston. Okay, Elite Eight time. I think Kansas knocks out UAB. Sorry, UAB. UCLA, Tennessee. I took Tennessee last time. I think this was the same matchup. I would take Tennessee. They've been looking good. That's for sure. Arizona, New Mexico. I think Arizona takes them down. I think New Mexico's time is done. And then Texas. I don't know. Texas, they've been continuing to win, but they haven't looked as good as they did at the start of the year. Start of the year, they looked great. Now they still look pretty good, but I like the potential Wisconsin has as a kind of mid-rated seed to make a run. I will take UConn over Charleston. Yeah, I'm going to take UConn. And then I'm going to take Miami over Duke. People are disrespecting Miami, I'm telling you. And then I'm going to go UNC. Remember, UNC was an 8 seed last year. I'm just saying, they're an 8 seed last year. And then, Gonzaga, Houston. I don't know. That's close. I'm going to take Gonzaga. Once again, I will never take Gonzaga to win a national title until they do so. But, I mean, they made the Elite Eight before. All right. Kansas, Tennessee. I'm definitely taking Kansas. Until they lose a game, it's gonna be hard for me to pick against Kansas in basically any setting. So yeah, I'm for sure gonna take them. Sorry, with so many logos on this doc and drawing, it's kind of it can be kind of laggy. I'm sorry, but if it's laggy. Okay, it's probably annoying me more than it's annoying you. Arizona, Wisconsin. I'm definitely taking Arizona. Like I said, I think these two teams have looked like the two best. It would be real hard for me to pick against either one of these teams. I know Purdue's undefeated and ranked number 1. I just think these teams have looked better. I'm sorry. A lot of times the undefeated team is not the best. That's just I've learned that. A lot of times I would put the undefeated teams way too high, but you know, losing teaches you things. I'm just saying. That's why an undefeated team hasn't won the national title since 1976. UConn, Miami. Taking Miami. They're a good team, man. They made the Elite Eight last year as a 10 seed, and they really improved. They got basically almost everyone back. They got Nigel Pack from Kansas State. They're a good team, man. They're a really good team. I gotta give Miami their respect. UConn's still great, but I'm gonna take Miami, and then Gonzaga and UNC. I will take Gonzaga. Just because they've proven to me more than UNC. The UNC to the Elite Eight, that's kind of like a hunch thing I have right about now. But here's my Final Four: Gonzaga, Miami, Kansas, and Arizona. Let's see what we got here. Kansas, Arizona. Oh man, you know these are my two teams. These are the two teams I think are the two best. I picked Kansas last Bracketology, and I'm gonna take them again. It's hard to bet against Bill Self in the tournament. It's just hard to do. And then am I gonna take Miami to the final? I think Gonzaga might be a little bit more well-rounded than Miami. They just might be. Um, yeah. I'm gonna have to take. I'm gonna have to take the Zags here. Sorry, Miami. And then for the title game, I'm gonna take Kansas. They've looked like the best team in my opinion. So I'm gonna stick with them. Kansas is still my national title pick, but let me know what y'all think. I think there are a lot of good teams, man. There are a lot of teams that are looking really good. There are a lot of teams. There's a ton of basketball left to be played. There's so much good basketball. Let's look at just the games we have this week. I mean, Purdue Rutgers could be a good game today. Um, what else we got? Tennessee Mississippi State, Kansas Texas Tech, Texas Kansas State. Pitt's playing well. Can Pitt play themselves into the tournament? New Mexico, Fresno. What about January 4th? Charleston, NCAT, Auburn, Georgia's 10-3. I'm telling you, Missouri, Arkansas, TCU, Baylor. Not by no means or anything. Indiana, Iowa, Purdue, Ohio State, USC, UCLA. That could be a good game. Gonzaga, San Francisco. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun down the stretch. I'm so excited. Basically, after the national title game, for college football between Georgia and TCU, we're basically gonna be full in the swing of things in college basketball, in terms of what I'm gonna be putting out. Um, I mean, there's still NFL, but NFL playoffs are fun. But yeah, college basketball is what we do around here. It's just what we do. Sorry about keeping y'all waiting so long for Bracketology. I hope this 36-minute episode was. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you made it to the end, thank you. See y'all around next time.